Well, Matt, lovely to see you. Firstly, huge congratulations. Try to put into words what it means to be selected to go to Tokyo. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but it's quite a relief to be able to just focus on Tokyo now, whereas there's been so many different things focusing on like the qualifying tournament and having that move around a bit and stuff. But it's more of a relief now to be able to just focus on Tokyo, know that I'm going, and that's the main goal.
Before we kind of look at how training's going and look ahead to the games, I'd love to just get a feel about sport and you. I know you've always loved sport, but have you always been interested in martial arts from a young age?
Yeah, I think from a young age I liked boxing. It was the only thing in our area really was boxing, but I don't think my mom would let me go or something. So I just did everything else. I was playing all other sports and things like that, and then I sort of got interested in MMA, and that was my introduction to martial arts in general. I'd never been to a traditional martial arts school or anything like that, so I jumped straight into MMA, and that's kind of what started me off on the martial art thing.
So it was MMA, but how did you get involved specifically with Taekwondo?
So I was with DSW throwing javelin, and I did an injury, and they mentioned that Taekwondo was going to be in the next Olympics. So Anthony basically said we can go up to Manchester, have a trial day, see if you fancy it, because I was already doing martial arts anyway. He knew I would be interested, so I was like, yeah, let's go. And then within sort of 2 weeks after that trial day, we were in Korea fighting. It was like quick.
God, that's a turnaround from a kind of day of introduction. What was that trial day like? Did you then know this is the sport for me?
I knew kind of what it was going to be like. I'd never done Taekwondo specifically, so I didn't know the rules or anything like that. So that was a bit of a learning curve, especially competing so soon. But with parasport, you can get thrown in the deep end quite quick. So, but it was fine. It was a good experience all around.
And I know you've got a very, very close bond with Anthony. The two of you get on really, really well. He's quite a mentor for you, isn't he?
Yeah, Anthony's been really good. He's always there if you ring him, and he's always trying to help. And I think he's genuinely got athletes' intentions at heart over almost everything else. So I think that's the good thing about Anthony.
Yeah, he's very, very passionate, isn't he, about you guys?
Yeah, it's his whole life.
Yeah, it is very much so. And you know, making that introduction day, and then you say 2 weeks later you end up competing on the international stage, and you have become GB Taekwondo's first para male world champion. So tell me about that competition, because that was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, first male world champion.
Yeah, first male. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. That competition was a long one. We had 5 fights that day, and it was in Turkey, I think, for the Worlds, and I had 4 fights pretty much back to back. So it was sometimes the way it just works out, you're off as soon as you come off, you're pretty much back on, and that's how my first 4 fights went. There's very little time in between them to recover or anything like that. And then when we were waiting for the final, I think ended up waiting about 6 or 7 hours for it. So we had to wind down and then get back up, sort of get warm again, and then try and stay ready for the fight, because it kept getting moved. So it's kind of an awkward one. So in the end, I just said, I'm going to go to sleep. Just wake me up when it's definitely happening. And then, and they did. And I went on, and it was good.
You are such a cool cookie, though, aren't you? You're a very cool customer. You take everything in your stride. Well, that's what you appear to people anyway. I don't know what you're feeling inside, but I mean, that's quite an achievement, especially considering how the short period of time that you've been obviously competing as a fighter in Taekwondo.
Yeah, it was a short period of time, but it was a lot of work went into it and a lot of time training. And because of all the other sports and martial arts I did, I felt like I already had a leg up on it. So I was coming in moving, like I was coming in with momentum, and I knew about combat sports and I knew about things like that. So I feel like I had a bit of a leg up. It wasn't a fresh, clean, new experience for me. I'd done things similar, and I could apply those lessons I'd learned from the other things to this. So it was quite a smooth transition, really.
We have to talk about Bulgaria, wasn't it, last month, because you and Beth taking gold that all went according to plan. And obviously, I guess Bulgaria has become even more significant considering there hasn't been a lot of competition because of the global pandemic. So that was a good one to get and get organized and get to Bulgaria and experience that, especially with Tokyo in your sights.
Yeah, Bulgaria was a good one. I mean, they've been really proactive about putting tournaments on and stuff. They keep it all in one hotel. So once you're in the hotel, you're not even allowed out the hotel. You're in, you live there, you eat there, and you fight there even. So that's how they've sort of done it, which is good. But yeah, Beth came out and put on a really good performance. I came away with getting what I needed to do. It's one of those days. It's like, if you win, you get it. It's not like there's no second place on a day like that, because we had to win the tournament to get the qualifying spot for Tokyo. So if you come second, there's no silver medal. It's you're either going to have a really good day or you're going to have a really bad day. There's no in between like that. And unfortunately, we both had good days.
Well, you're flying the Welsh flag. There's no two ways about it. You are an incredibly focused individual, Matt. So how is training going as we get ever closer to you getting on that flight to Tokyo?
Training's going really well. We've just focusing in on the things that we want to improve. We still have time to improve, and I feel like because I'm so new in the sport, I'm still improving every day as well. So my performance curve is still going, which is really good. We're just solidifying the things we've already done, making sure that we haven't missed anything, and we're cracking on with a lot of intense training.
Has it sunk in yet that, all being well, you're going to make your debut at the Paralympics?
I'm not sure. I think so. I think it has. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm ready for it. So I guess it has.
And are you weighing up the opposition in terms of who potentially you could be facing? Is that all part of the training and preparation process?
Yeah, it's all part of the process, and it's all people we've fought for the last 3 or 4 years anyway, and it's just going to be the best of everyone. The best of the division are going to be there. So it's going to be, every fight's going to be a tough fight, going to be hard fought, and probably close fights. So yeah, we're ready for it.
And back in West Wales, your family and friends must be incredibly proud.
Yeah, everyone's happy and looking forward to it, watching on telly.
And what was it like when you got your gear? Because that's real then, isn't it? When you get your Team GB kit, it's like, okay, this is real.
Yeah, it was a bit overwhelming. There's so much stuff that we didn't, well, I've never been before, so I didn't know what to expect, but there was so much stuff to look through, and they were like, let us know sizes and things like that, but it's taken ages to even look through it all.
And as one of the so-called newbies with the GB Taekwondo squad, has everyone been really welcoming, and is there a good vibe in the camp, shall we say?
Yeah, everyone's really welcoming, especially because you're coming into a sport sort of late, and everyone's been doing it most people there have been doing it their whole life. So they're from families who've got gyms and things like that. They've been involved for a long time, and I'm just new to the sport, and I come in and doing everything probably different and wrong and all that. But everyone's been really good. Everyone's welcoming. I don't think there's a bad person in there, to be honest.